Hi! How is everybody holding up? More than likely, you're in some sort of quarantine. We have been. It's been good for the most part. We have family staying with us, so that gives us a little bit more entertainment, I suppose. And we're in a place where it's very warm, so we have the pool and lots of outside. Lots of outside. But it's been a nice opportunity to really slow down and kind of see where we've been putting our energy that we didn't want to, and like, where is it possible to maybe reassign that energy someplace that feels more aligned and fulfilling. Um, we've been doing a lot of play, whether it's throwing a frisbee or a ball outside, or the kids did like an Easter egg hunt type of a thing, lots of crafts and bike rides and discovering trails. We bought a kayak for my son yesterday, so we could do some kayak trips and, that whole reconnection with your inner child. So that has been beautiful. Not to say that there haven't been stressful moments. I'm sure that we are all seeing lots and lots of things about ourselves. Lots of things that trigger us, and the opportunity to really take a look at those and maybe work towards healing them. Where do we lack patience and become frustrated? Where do we become lazy? Where are we unforgiving? I'm noticing my control issues coming out big time. I'm used to having my house to myself during the day. My kids are at school. I'm here doing my work. I work from my house. I do these for fun when I can. And I'm used to being able to control the energy in here, and sometimes literally energy. My lights are constantly being left on. And when kids get out of the pool because the water's cold, they want to go in the outdoor shower and warm up. And there's been a constant running of water around here. So I'm having to really come to terms with, hang on. I'm okay with releasing control, even over the silence in my home, allowing me to do these videos uninterrupted. Anywho, it's the releasing the control over, my space and needing it to be my way. My lack consciousness coming up around food. Kids eat so much food. There's 7 kids here right now. It's that was a real thing for me, and I'm getting much better with it. It's only taken, I think we're at like 3 weeks of self-quarantine right now, so it's only taken 3 weeks. But just that feeling that, I live in a touristy vacation town that's heavy with, people who can afford to have these snowbird homes and people that are just on regular vacation. And when all of this pandemic stuff began, it was very concerning for me that all of these people were running to the store to stock up on supplies in case they were stuck in their house. And I have 11 people here that I need to feed on a daily basis. And while we weren't falling into the fear aspect of not having enough food because of the pandemic, we were falling into the fear aspect of, will there be enough food because everybody else is buying up all of the food for the pandemic. We didn't jump on the toilet paper game, and I guess we should have, because we had pre-pandemic. Who'd have thought toilet paper would be a thing? So really releasing that concern that there wasn't going to be enough food, and working with the kids to allow them to have snacks that kept them feeling sufficiently satisfied, but also wasn't breaking my bank, and emptying the fridge. It's been a balance, so everybody's having to learn. Children and old folk alike. Oh, hang on. Again. Alright, so, what is all that to say? I don't know. That's what's going on with me in my life. I've had a very, very large awareness around how everybody has the opportunity right now to kind of fall into the I guess the more negative, you could say, aspects of what we're experiencing, or taking it as an opportunity to grow. You know, we were all forced to sit down, really, and take a look at ourselves and our patterns and our behaviors and our routines and our choices, and kind of do a self-check on our health and our wellness, whether it was your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual. You know, and really say, how am I here? And to take a breath and allow ourselves to just be. We don't often get that opportunity anymore. And when we do, we don't take it. We feel like that's being lazy, right? That's something that's been really ingrained in us, is if you just be, you know, if you're not constantly doing something, then you're not achieving. And it's just such a, it's a double-edged sword. You know, we all have things that we need to do, and we have bills that we need to pay, and money is what makes the world go around. You know, so we have that aspect, but we often forget how to bring that balance in. So I think that this is a real opportunity for us to be able to take a look at that and say, where is that balance? And again, heal. It's all about healing. So I feel like doing a card reading, but I don't feel like particularly doing just a, you know, divine masculine or twin flame or a certain signs. I kind of feel like maybe I just want to pull cards for somebody that needs that, somebody that's going to end up watching this. I know that right now my channel's not exactly popping, but there are people that watch, so I'm going to set the intention that a message comes through for somebody who is going to end up watching this video that needs to receive guidance or hear something, or some sort of a confirmation of something. I'm not going to set it for anybody in particular, and even if I end up knowing who this is, I will never, ever, ever, ever speak to you about this video unless you come to me first. So, let's do that, because that sounds fun. Okay, so off the bat, I feel like there is somebody who is wanting to leave and run to... I don't necessarily want to say it's a person yet, because this could just be... so the Two Swords and the Queen of Wands came out. The way that I looked at this when it came out, we have the Knight of Swords first, you know, this quick movement, wanting to go somewhere and being guided by this raven, this crow, blackbird. And the next card that came out was this girl, this Two Swords, this crow. I feel like this crow is guiding you towards this. Like, I see them as helping her. You know, she's caught up in this tangle. She can't see her way out. She's got this blindfold on. And these crows are here, like, pulling this, you know, these lines from her. And then the Queen of Wands came out. So if this is a person, it could just be that it is somebody with that fiery energy that's, you know, fun and sassy and warm, and just has that pizzazz and creativity and, you know, just that fun and spunky energy. It could also be that this is guiding you towards a path of some sort, you know, that maybe you haven't really known which path to go down, you haven't really seen what option you should be following, whatever. But this is bringing you down a creative path of some sort of a, that probably is gross to some people, huh? Sorry. That, like, pressure builds up and I can't handle it. Gotta get it out. But this real stepping into the power of creating something. Meaningful. Let me see what else I get before we pull all the cards before I start getting my own assumptions going. I just hear stuff and I want to get it out before I let it go. Okay, so I feel like you have been in this place of it's like this solemn kind of bored, I don't know, like I have these things, I have this situation, I have this job, I have this thing. I feel like this is, this tree of life that you began to build for yourself. This is your life where it is right now, everything that you've kind of built up. And it's like it should be satisfying. But it's not, it's kind of like this is what I thought I wanted. But it doesn't look like there's this like happiness about it. And it looks like there's like this something else that you're wanting to have offered towards you. It very partnershipy, and it might feel like there might be some like you end up losing. If you looked at this on the outside, it would look like walking away from where you're at, you would end up losing. But when I look at this from your side, it's knowing that even though you have all of these things that from the outside and maybe to friends and family or whatever, it looks like it should be satisfying, and maybe even that's a facade that's been put up, that there's satisfaction. There's this knowing that you have this hope, this dream, this wish that if it would become fulfilled, even though it looks to everybody else like you'd be losing so much, you know that you'd be gaining everything. That half as much is twice as much as what you have right now, because it's more, it's your heart's wish. I see that there's this kind of like left out feeling, feeling like somebody won and somebody lost, especially when it comes to the emotions. I feel like you kind of lost here. But I feel like you almost did this to yourself. I feel like this was you really kind of doing what you thought was right, or doing what seemed easier. If it's easier, then that must be the choice, something like that. And really you didn't win out of all of this. There's a lot of obligation, there's a lot of commitment and being held in kind of what the more human aspects of ourselves think is important, or makes us stuck. This is something that we promised or we committed ourselves to before, and I feel like now you kind of have this awakening to you have created this world around you that isn't actually what you wanted. You also though have the possibility now, and I think that maybe this whole being stuck inside thing is really illuminating this for you, that you have options outside of what you have done, and there are probably a lot of parts of you that are kind of having no choice but to really face that now. You can't run away. Most of us can't run and go bury ourselves in work, or, going out and doing something to get our mind off of that thing that we've kind of just trying to push down. Those things they're being allowed to come to the surface now. I think that when you really look at all of these obligations and these commitments that you've built around you, once you're in this moment now where those obligations aren't necessarily pulling at you, there's this opportunity presenting itself for you to co-create something new with the universe, to set new intentions, to really direct your energy where you want it to be directed to. I feel like this is a silent thing for yourself at first, through meditation, or when you're falling asleep, when you're in the dream state, when you're waking up, when you're in the shower, those quiet, peaceful moments, really taking that opportunity to go deep into your heart, see what comes up, and stay there. And when we're in those places, that's when we are most powerfully manifesting for ourselves. We are really getting that opportunity to feel and to see, and if you're lucky enough and you can touch in a tangible way, to touch those things that we really want to have manifesting for us, and setting it out in those moments that we are so deeply connected to the universe and the energies around us and our guides, and whatever your personal beliefs are, to really set those intentions and say, these are the things that, while I'm sitting here in this moment, these feel good, these feel right, this is what I am bringing in for me, and releasing that to your guides, to the energies, to the universe, to God, knowing that if we tap into that feeling, when we feel that feeling, that's our guides coming back and saying, okay, this is a choice, a path, an option that is aligning you with those things that you told us you'd wanted to manifest for yourself. That's why that feeling is triggering right now. Follow that. And as we begin to really, really sit with that and start to recognize those feelings, we become even more powerful at manifesting and co-creating what is existing around us. Getting more into a life that is aligned with these realizations that we have pushed down and that are starting to come to the surface now. There's this whole new fiery beginning after that. It's like a healing of our heart, and 3 swords. It's a healing of our heart and the ways that we have disserved ourselves, and did something out of obligation or just not knowing. Sometimes we just don't know what we don't know, right? We make choices based on where our awareness is in that moment, where our consciousness is. This is just what we have. Life is an ever-evolving game of growth and learning. So then there's communication. What kind of communication is this? That's too clear. Communication systems. Seeds being planted. This is a growth of a whole new tree of life. It's literally having learned how to direct the energy now. He's got the energy coming out of his hands. It's like having learned how to direct this energy towards what we do want. We planted these new seeds, and all of these roots start to take hold. All these roots start to take hold again, directing energy out, and it's co-creating with the universe, this infinity. Co-creating the universe and directing this energy towards these new seeds that we're planting, growing, and it's a whole new tree of life. So you see where this one that was there before, this bigger tree, it's an established tree, but it certainly isn't satisfying looking. You got all these cups and bowls and this land and this openness, but we're leaning towards and even touching our hand towards this one thing that we really want. And this is where all the color is. And, it's like that's where the light is coming. It's the end of the rainbow. It's that wish that's there. This offer of what we do want. So once we release everything, we start working on actually healing. What is it that I've done that I shouldn't have done, in hindsight, or I guess I shouldn't say shouldn't. We all do what we have to do to learn. But what can I do now to get me to where I would like to be? And this whole new tree starts to grow, and it's really just investing our energy into that. Investing your energy. Okay, so something real ends up coming out of this. This has an opportunity at the end of, I said it a few videos ago that March is going to be just something crazy. That this month is just going to be wonky, and that there's so much shifting that's coming, and stuff is going to change, and that April is going to be nuts, but incredibly beautiful. And I really, really, really firmly believe that this coronavirus pandemic that we're experiencing is that we had this opportunity to slow down. So we take this opportunity that we have now to learn how to better invest our energy and work with our energy. We have an opportunity, once this all passes, to really see this ground and become a physical fruition. Okay. What else needs to come out? What is this star card? What is this wish that you've been wishing? Okay, so it's like there are things that make you happy. There are things that don't make you happy. And then there's those things that just confuse the ever-loving hell out of you. And there's this real, like this looking up to the heavens and just saying, just tell me, just show me, where am I supposed to be going? Where is my happiness? What is the decisions I should be making? What should I do in this situation? And where should I be putting that work in? I'm tired of fighting and battling and feeling like I'm on the losing end all the time. I'm tired of being confused. I just want to be happy. I'm okay with putting the work in, but where should I be putting that work in at? And I feel like this is something that you've gone in and out of for a while. None of this looks like it's been recent. I think that just the recent events in life are allowing you to have a massive amount of focus on this right now. Or maybe this just isn't allowing itself to not be a massive focus for you anymore. It's no longer willing to stay beneath the surface. It's becoming impossible to run from anymore, to hide. What is this that we want? This is like establishing a new foundation. Four of Wands, usually for me, is with somebody else, using your energy together to kind of change the way that the wheel has been turning. Ending what has been and stepping into what we want. Hang on one second. Okay. So it's like working to build this new foundation, balancing out the light and the dark, the shadow, all of that stuff. I've talked about that before. Coming to a point where we've had this balance going within, and then allowing the wheel to turn more into our favor again, which does bring around a death and a rebirth. There's things that we have to let go of to get to where we want to be. I think that that's something that you understand. I think that there's this, I feel like there's this desire to have this be as painless as possible, but also this, guidance really strongly coming in, and just asking for help with all of this. Healing betrayal. Why are we healing betrayal? Okay, so you manifested something with somebody else. For some reason, that's a betrayal. I feel like this is a betrayal for yourself still. Like, um, this is kind of like a second best situation. You took what was second best. It's kind of like a betrayal of yourself. Unless you are in a situation, maybe it was somebody who cheated on you, and that's what the death and the rebirth is. I hate the word cheated. I don't know. It was with somebody else. I just didn't laugh. But that could very much be this. 4 swords, 7 swords, 3 wands, Ace of Cups. Needing to let go of somebody that wasn't honest to you. I think that you sacrificed what you wanted for somebody else, and they hurt you. There's some sort of like a backstabbing. There's like this backstabbing that broke your heart, and there's this healing that needs to take place around that, and a release of this situation. If you can work through it, then that's cool, but I don't feel like you want to. I feel like this is almost an opportunity for relief for you. Where now you can say, I have a reason to be able to walk away. A part of that is probably scary. But, I think what's really scary is that it is relieving. That as much as there's that pain of, I can't believe this happened to us, to me, that you did this to me. Do you understand what I gave up for you? I think it's more scary that you allowed yourself to stay, for you, I think it's more scary that you allowed yourself to stay in a situation for so long where you're relieved that you were somehow hurt and have an out now. There's a whole heart chakra opening for you. I think that you've been experiencing that lately too. Heavy, like heartburn feeling, intense heaviness in the heart. If you're a runner, I know when I have things that are going to be released from my heart chakra, because when I am running, I'll take a breath in and I can feel it go everywhere except for like right here. I feel like there's just, like a big rock or something that, wherever that block is at, that prevents it from getting around. There's just this heaviness. And as I start working through that, that releases, and I can feel that. But heartburn, badly. Burping. Heart chakra. Usually with heart chakra comes throat chakra also. When we have throat chakra things, we can go in and out of a raspy and clear voice, a lot of phlegmy discharge, post-nasal drips kind of stuff. Like really gross, kind of thick saliva. This is all really gross, but maybe that will help you. Like, oh shit, I have been experiencing all of that stuff. Also with heart chakra in our back, between our shoulder blades, we can get a burning. Our muscles hurt, they feel sore. But I'm realizing that I'm seeing a lot of things that are making me feel like there's a heart chakra opening for you. When we really feel into that and we allow things to come up and really then be released, and we open our heart more to love, we're also allowing in the energy of this thing that you have been wanting to go towards, feeling that with us. I also want to say that it's so very important to be able to feel what it is that we want before we have it. That really, like, it pulls it in strong. It's just as real. Knowing that there's just as much realness to that as there is having that thing or seeing that thing or feeling that thing next to you physically is super crazy important and really, really fun to experiment with. Just sitting there thinking about certain people or circumstances, experiences, jobs, whatever, and feeling like, what does it feel like to feel like this? What does it feel like to hear that person, to see that person, to go do this activity, to do this job? We forget so much how important it is to just feel. Most of us can't even say how we feel half the time. I don't know how I feel. I just feel weird. I feel off. I feel bad. I feel good. To be able to really truly feel what does a circumstance bring to you, and identify that feeling is important. And I think especially if you have kids, to be able to know that feeling for yourself to help our children to really get in touch with what their feelings are, what feels good, what doesn't, and then beyond that even, and be able to communicate to those around them, help them really build strong and healthy relationships, for the rest of their lives. Super important. Most of us don't communicate well. Okay, so from there we just have this real discernment coming in around what it is that we hold near and dear to us and where we're going to go with that. What direction do we head from here? It seems kind of quick after that, like you just want to move on from this, really focus on the things that make you happy. I feel like there's this reunion kind of a feeling. This card that I have, the way that these two people are looking at each other, it's like I've known you forever type of a feeling. I feel like this is a person that you feel tied to. This feels like a person for me. Yeah. Your card. Feels like there's this tie. This. Yep. So there's a whole rebirth of you as a person that can come out of this. It ends with the Lovers. There's this release of where you have kept yourself bound and who you have been, probably because this is who you've been told you have to be. This is who you felt like you had to be in order to be successful and have the house and the car and the job and the money and the vacations and the this and the that really doesn't matter at the end of the day. I want to live on a bus. I want to live on a bus and I want to go travel the world and I want my kids to experience culture and the way that other people live and this entire gorgeous planet that we live on. I want to experience that. I have not experienced any of it. You don't need all of the things that society has, beaten into us as important. We end up working these jobs that don't fulfill us to make money to go pay for things that also don't fulfill us, and we typically don't get to enjoy because we're too busy working to pay them off. Silliness. So there's this whole release of all of these things that have been holding you down, and it's like your soul is let free after this. And then you can make these choices that are your own choices. You're moving your own chess pieces at that point and playing your own game of life. Really it's like slaying the devil, slaying all of the things that have puppeteered you into what you're supposed to be doing and what decisions you have to make and who you have to be with and where you have to be. Releasing all of that, slaying the devil, hanging his head on the wall and saying, this is my king and I'm moving it where I want. And there's your checkmate. And the card directly after that is the Lovers. It's being in that whole complete unified state, that balanced, your own masculine and feminine, and being in, a relationship, if you choose, that is balanced in recognizing you and you recognizing them and not needing control but accept. And, it's like doors open in ways for you to be able to make your financial abundance, to pay for the things that you actually want, and to go to the places that you actually wish to be, and to see the things that you wish to see, and to be with the people that you desire to be with, and to really start learning who you are, and knowing that that's not only okay, but it's really, really freaking beautiful. This feels really good and complete. I don't want to draw any more cards. I really like how it ended in the Lovers, and the cards in front of me just feel so beautiful right now. And I really just want to be able to send out that energy to you. I hope that you can feel all of this that I am feeling. I hope that in your heart you can feel it. I hope that you can kind of see that unfolding in your mind. And I hope that when you have opportunities to be making some of these decisions, that you really turn inside, that you start meditating more, that you take advantage of those quiet moments that you have in the shower or in the car or those first moments when you wake up or when you're going to sleep, to really just be in your own energy with your own guides and calling in the energies that are meant for you. Releasing the energies that are not, releasing the people who are not meant for you. Um, really truly just letting it go and feeling that weight slough off and pulling in all of the nice floaty high vibe feelings that are intended for you, and feeling what that feels like when you just lay in that warm mushy feeling. Looking into like kundalini activations would also probably really help you with propelling this, with all of these chakra openings and expansions and these opportunities for growth and soul growth. It's like there's a whole spiritual awakening that's happening here, and when we activate our kundalini energy, that propels forward even more quickly, and we use our kundalini energy to really, really manifest. Kundalini energy does feel very sexual, the tinglies and all of that stuff. So I recommend not doing anything to satiate that feeling, and instead learning about breath work and pulling that energy up into your heart, and really picturing in your mind and in your heart and feeling into the things that you're wanting to create and manifest, and using your breath work to build it all in there. And it's like pulling into a bubble and then sending it out, sending out the heart chakra, sending it out the third eye in the heart, connecting with our crown and connecting down with the earth. Kundalini awakenings are very fun. What other guidance and recommendations do I have based on my own experiences? Eating super healthy, getting rid of processed foods, drinking tons of water will help with integrating all of this. Really focusing in on what is my body telling me I need. Chances are it's not sugar and carbs. It's probably like natural sugar, if anything. Eat some fruit, veggies. It's like purifying, exercising, staying healthy. I know that a lot of you are in states and aspects of the country, more than likely you listen to me in the US, that are chilly. Sorry. Maybe running up and down your stairs, some push-ups. CrossFit workout of the days, WODs, are really great if you can find things to supplement weights, like 2 gallons of milk. I used to use gallons of milk, or like the garbage bag when I took the trash out. I would like curl the garbage bags. But finding things around your house that you can use for like workout tools, and following CrossFit workouts. You can find one that works within your needs, and then just scale it down to what you could do. You don't have to do 50 push-ups. You could do 20, do 20. You have to break them up. Sit-ups and whatever. Like, CrossFit is very much tailored to be able to work out without machinery, typically. So stay healthy and taking care of yourself. Stay well. Drink water. Eat healthy food. Meditate, or at least surrender to the silent moments. Possibly look into Kundalini awakenings and like chakra expansions. If you identify with any of this and you have questions, I am absolutely here. You can drop me a message and I will respond to anything and everything that I get. Generally, I'm good about responding very quickly. I like interacting with you guys. So, got that. Oh, and aside from that, just really paying attention to what you're letting into your awareness. What movies you're watching, what TV you're watching, what songs you're listening to, what people you're listening to, where you're getting your advice. Also listening to the advice you give others. We usually are giving ourselves advice when we're talking to other people. We don't even realize it. We turn around like, oh man, I should take that advice. Or maybe a higher power is talking to me, through me, to somebody else. Especially when we talk to our children. It's like our higher self is a parent to us who is a parent to our children. And often the lessons come through our kids. The things that we are telling them that, might benefit them, or a way that they can solve a problem, etc., is usually something that is very aligned with what we are currently experiencing. And we end up realizing, hot damn, I again need to take my own advice. I recommend that. And on the premise to note that your higher self is like your parent. Always remember you have a parent there that you can go to for help. Quiet moments. Please help me. Send me a sign. Make it so obvious that I can't miss it because I just suck at paying attention to signs. And they will come. It might come through songs. It might come through a random little download that you feel. It might come through a conversation with a friend or something you hear from a stranger or a book that you read or whatever. But the guidance will come. The way that you would never let your children down, your higher self would never let you down. You are God, the universe, your angels, all the good stuff. And cleansing your space. So when you are experiencing these awakenings, often as the light within you is waking up, dark things try to come and, freak you out to get you to stay away from it. Knowing that you are protected all the time is super important. Knowing that you can just call in your guidance, whatever makes you feel comfortable, angels, a bubble, a ball of light, God, a flame. You work with the archangels, the ascended masters, your ancestors, grandma, please keep me safe, or, whatever. Knowing that those are always there. Looking into things like Palo Santo, love the smell of Palo Santo. Sage for smudging. You can get sprays if you don't want to do smoke. Many people tell you to just use your intention. You can call in guides that work with different rays and flames and ask them to do fun stuff. Archangel Metatron is a good archangel to call in to kind of cleanse all of the energies within the space that you're in. Archangel Michael comes in and protects, and Raphael comes in and heals. Sandalphon grounds and brings up the earth energies. Working with Saint Germain and the Violet Flame. It's for transmutation. So if there's something that you are heavily burdened with, maybe it is this betrayal, and asking for our Saint Germain and Lady Nada is his twin flame to come in and to help transmute this energy for your best and highest good, to help you to work through this and shift this into light and, release what has been healed. You don't need to remember the words, you just need to have that intention there. And I know that can sound kind of woo-woo to some people, but intention is everything. You don't need to be perfect. When our kids are writing us a letter, we don't expect them to write every letter perfect and spell all the words right. We know what their intention is and what they're trying to say to us, and that is what matters, right? We know what it is they're saying, we know it is what they want, and we know how we can best help them with whatever it is that they're asking for or trying to say to us. Our guides, our angels, God, masters, they're all the same. They understand what's in your heart, and that's what matters. That's what is important. So cleansing your space is going to be important, and maintaining that and really feeling when something shifts, what just changed. Everything felt really good and happy and positive, and now I feel this heaviness in my stomach. What just changed? Did somebody just walk in? Maybe it's that person and the energy they're carrying. Is it a thought that you just had? Is it something you just remembered? Is it something somebody said? Not just letting those moments go anymore, really tuning into those is how we begin to really grow and open up what a lot of people like to call our psychic senses. But it's just being open to the things that we had been closed off to for so long. If we can't see it, it isn't real, right? Seeing is believing. Once we start really tuning into what it is that we can feel, we start to become more open to the things that are not physical around us. I think that's really everything. Don't be freaked out by anything. Know that everything is love, and that incredible, gorgeously beautiful, fantastically amazing things lie ahead of you if you choose to trust. Faith, Justin, Pixie Dust. Miss Disney. Okay, with that, I'm going to say peace out. I'm going to go to my kid's school and go pick up all of his school supplies, because I guess school's done over there for the year. E-learning it is. So I'm going to let you guys go. On the last recommendation that you watch Tiger King, all you cool cats and kittens, because really coronavirus happened so we could all be united through Tiger King. It has nothing to do with your awakening or any of us coming back to the basics. It's all about the Tiger King. So go watch that. Alrighty, I love you. Anybody who listened, I hope that you stayed to the end, whether this resonated or not, because some good things came through at the end, just for spiritual growth anyway. That's all I got. I hope I hear from you. Have a fantastic week. I'm sure I'll make more videos. And that's about it. Stay safe.